Before we start the film, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all the new content we provide. The film begins in France with Michelle at her home after a masked man breaks in and violently assaults her, causing injuries to her face. After finishing his crime, he leaves, and Michelle starts cleaning up the shattered glass from the cups that broke during her struggle with him. We learn that she is divorced from her husband Richard and has a son named Vincent who lives away from her. She lives alone and works as a director at a PlayStation game design company. Michelle changes her clothes and takes a shower to wash away the traces of the assault, but strangely, she doesn't report the incident to the police or contact any of her family or friends. At night, before going to bed, she locks all doors and windows, leaves the TV on in her bedroom, and sleeps holding a hammer, preparing herself in case the attacker returns. The next morning, Michelle goes to work at the gaming company and attends a meeting with her team, where they present a new game design. Michelle makes some comments and suggests changes to the game, which one of her colleagues, Kurt, a photographer in the company, objects to. Michelle reminds him that they are already behind schedule and that the final decision is hers as the director. Kurt stays silent, and the meeting ends. We then see Sarah, Michelle's close friend and colleague, along with her husband Robert, with whom Michelle has had a secret affair. Sarah is unaware of this, as she trusts Michelle completely. After work, Michelle goes to the hospital to get herself checked for any diseases, suspecting the attacker might have been infected, but she is cleared of any health issue. She then goes to a restaurant to have lunch. While seated, a woman inside the restaurant notices her, approaches, and throws her leftover food at Michelle, insulting her before leaving. The reason behind the woman's behavior is that Michelle's father, Orge, was a serial killer who murdered many of their neighbors, particularly women and children. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, and because of his crimes, Michelle and her mother suffered severe societal backlash and mistreatment. Michelle harbors deep hatred for her father and resents the police and the media for how they treated her in the past. This explains why she did not go to the police after being attacked, suspecting that the attacker might be a relative of one of her father's victims seeking revenge. Later, Michelle meets her mother, who is with a much younger man. The mother informs Michelle that they are planning to get married soon. Michelle disapproves and warns her mother that the young man is a fraud, but her mother insists that she is free to live her life as she pleases. She also urges Michelle to visit her father in prison, claiming that he is old, sick, and repentant, but Michelle refuses outright, asking her mother not to bring up the subject again. The next day, Michelle goes to a store that sells weapons and self-defense tools. She buys pepper spray and a hatchet. Later, she has dinner with Richard, Sarah, and Robert, where she reveals that someone broke into her house and assaulted her. Everyone is shocked and asks why she didn't report it to the police. Michelle responds that she didn't know how to tell them and that she doesn't want the police involved in her life again, reassuring them that she is now more vigilant. The following day, Michelle visits her son Vincent at his workplace, and they go together to see the apartment he mentioned. There, they meet Vincent's girlfriend Josie, who is present. Michelle notices that the apartment is different and more expensive than the one they discussed, sensing that Josie is materialistic and only interested in Vincent's money. Josie gets angry, insults Vincent, and storms out. The next day, Michelle receives a message at her office from the unknown attacker, complimenting her on the color of her dress. She becomes suspicious, realizing that the attacker might be one of her employees who saw her that day. She looks at Kurt, the photographer, from afar, suspecting him, but he appears to be working as usual. One night, Michelle notices a suspicious car parked outside her house with someone inside. She grabs the pepper spray and hatchet, breaks the car window, and sprays the man in the eyes. He screams in pain, and Michelle realizes it is Richard, who was watching the house to protect her in case the attacker returned. She apologizes and takes him inside, washing his face, and she starts to feel that she still has feelings for him despite their divorce. The next day at the company, Michelle and her staff are shocked to receive a mass email containing a video clip from the game they are working on, showing a rape scene with Michelle's face digitally placed on the female character. Michelle is deeply disturbed, suspecting that the person who did this might be the same person who assaulted her. Meanwhile, Vincent calls her to say that Josie is giving birth. Michelle rushes to the hospital, where she finds Richard. Josie gives birth, but everyone is shocked to see that the baby has dark skin, even though both Vincent and Josie are white. Michelle notices a tattoo on Josie that says Eric, and she suspects that Eric might be the real father of the baby. Furious, she storms out of the hospital. One day, Michelle is with Kevin, an IT department employee at the company, at a shooting range where he is teaching her how to shoot. She offers him €10, 000, if he can find out who posted the explicit video of her. He immediately agrees. That evening, on her way home from work, she sees her neighbors Rebecca and her husband Patrick decorating their house for Christmas. She invites them to the New Year's Eve party she is hosting at her place, and they happily accept. The party takes place at Michelle's house, and everyone attends. During dinner and the celebration, Michelle's foot touches Patrick's under the table, and she flirts with him, indicating a mutual attraction. At that moment, Michelle's mother announces to everyone that she has decided to marry the young man. Everyone congratulates her, but suddenly, she collapses to the ground. They rush her to the hospital. In the ambulance, she asks Michelle to visit her father in prison. The mother falls into a coma due to a brain hemorrhage and dies the next day. However, Michelle does not feel sad. She has her mother cremated, takes her ashes in a jar, and scatters them in a distant place with her friends, her son, his wife, and the baby. There, Michelle gets angry with her son, as she feels that his wife mistreats him. She tells him that the baby is not his because the baby's skin tone does not match his. This angers Vincent, and he feels insulted and leaves. On a stormy night, as the windows bang shut from the wind, Patrick comes over, claiming he is there to help her close the windows and doors. They get close, but he suddenly pulls away as if his conscience stops him. The next day at work, Kevin tries to pin the video on one of the employees to get the money. He accuses Kurt because he found a pornographic clip on his device, but Michelle dismisses it, saying it's not sufficient evidence. She begins to suspect Kevin himself because he seems too eager to blame someone. That night, she sneaks into his office and searches his device. Kevin walks in and admits that he only saved the video but did not create it. It spread after he downloaded it. Michelle believes him because his body does not match the attacker's build. Later that night, Michelle is attacked again by the same person who broke into her house before. He hits her violently before trying to assault her again. She grabs a pair of scissors, stabs him, and removes his mask, revealing that it is Patrick, her neighbor. She kicks him out of the house. In the news, Michelle learns that her father's parole request has been denied, meaning he will have to wait another 10 years before reapplying. Michelle curses her father but later decides to visit him to curse him to his face, thus fulfilling her mother's last wish. However, her father hangs himself the next day after being informed that his daughter plans to visit him. Michelle learns of his death while at the prison but feels no sorrow. On her way back, a deer crosses the road, causing Michelle to swerve and crash into a tree. She injures her leg and gets trapped in the car. Unable to reach her friends as their phones are off, she reluctantly calls Patrick. He arrives quickly, helps her, and bandages her wound. When she asks why he assaulted her, he has no answer and leaves. The next day, Michelle returns home to find that Patrick has kidnapped the baby from Josie and brought him to her after Josie kicked him out for quitting his job. This time, Michelle sympathizes with Josie despite not liking her and tells her son that he has not been acting like a man or taking responsibility. Josie arrives furious, takes her baby, and leaves. At the supermarket, Michelle runs into Patrick. He invites her to dinner since his wife is out of town. They go to dinner, and after eating and drinking, Vincent falls asleep. Patrick takes Michelle to the basement and assaults her there. Michelle becomes furious, wakes Vincent, and leaves. Michelle's company successfully launches the new game, and a big celebration is held, to which she invites all her friends, including Patrick. Before the party, Michelle decides to end her affair with Robert because she can no longer bear the guilt, especially since his wife is her friend. She confesses everything to Sarah, who becomes furious with both her husband and Michelle. After the party, Patrick drives Michelle home. She threatens to tell his wife and the police, as he might rape other women too. He attacks her inside the house, attempting to assault her, but her son arrives just in time and hits him on the head with a metal tool, killing him. The police arrive, but since it was in self-defense, no charges are filed against anyone. Josie reconciles with Vincent, and they get back together. Michelle visits her parents' graves, placing flowers on them, and restores her friendship with Sarah. Thus, the film ends. If you enjoyed the film, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all the new content we provide.